Good morning. In this session, we are going to know about the data. What is a data reduction? What is a data reduction? What are the techniques for the data reduction? And then how can you apply these techniques on data set? Here, what is a data reduction? Here and then here we have a different approaches for the data reduction. Data reduction methodologies. Here, these are all different strategies for performing the data reduction. That means you will know about the data in the next slide. That means data reduction methods here. Here, data reduction method, dimensionality reduction. That means the dimensionality in this case here is a perspective or entity here, or simply you represent it as an attribute here. Here, dimensionality, how can you reducing the dimensionality? And that is a way. And then in the dimensionality reduction, you have a different approaches are there: attribute subset selection, Euler transformation, and then principal component analysis, one of the method here. And then numerosity reduction. The next important one here is a numerosity reduction. Here, that means it depends upon some number here. It's, these methods may be, one method is a parametric method, other method is non-parametric method here. Here in the parametric method here, what is the necessity of parametric method here is to estimate the data. Here, this method you consist of another approach here, the regression and log linear model. Regression and then log linear model, non-parametric method here. Here, this is used to reduce representation of data here. Here, these are all histogram. One is histogram, and then clustering, sampling, and data cube representation. Here, these four different kinds of method, and then another one is a data compression. These four different methods are called as a data reduction method. Another one here is a data discretization and concept hierarchy generation. How can you perform the discretization here? And then concept hierarchy. What is a concept hierarchy here? How can you mapping the lower level concept into higher level concept? That is, you will discuss that information here. Here, first one here is a, what is a data reduction here? Here, how can you represent the data reduction? Here, the data reduction is a reduced representation of data. Here, reduced representation, that means data size is 1 GB data, that can be reduced to 500 MB, and then the content in this data cannot be changed. That means content, that means you cannot remove the content in a data. That is called here data reduction. Here, but produces a same and similar analytical result. Here, the old data and then reduced data, but you require the same result. That is a data reduction. The, what is the aim of data reduction here? The aim, the aim of data reduction in this case here is to present a reduced representation of data in data warehousing. Here, you have to represent the reduced representation. The size, you can decrease the size of the data. That is a important thing here. You always reducing the size of the data. That is a main aim. That means you will store the data in a data warehouse. Why? Because reducing the data in the sense, the data warehouse size, that means every day you are generating large amount of data. That means you have to store the data. That's why you have to reduce the size of the data. Another important, why data reduction here? What is the necessity of data reduction? What is the need of data reduction? Why data reduction? The database or data warehouse size, the may store say terabytes of data every day. Nowadays the data warehouse stores petabytes of data. The every day the data warehouse or database stores a terabytes of data. Not only terabytes of large amount of data, large volume of complex data, and not only veracity, variety of data is there. The complex data analysis or mining takes very long time. Here, complete the data. That's why introduce the data reduction technique here. Here, that is a important thing. That is a data reduction. In the data reduction methodologies techniques here, first one is the dimensionality reduction. In the dimensionality reduction, the first approach here is a attribute subset selection. What is an attribute subset selection here? Here, that means you are having some different attributes here. How can you reduce in those attributes? Some of the attributes may require, some of the attributes not required here. Here, that means the data set for analysis may contain hundreds of attributes here. For example, employee data, employee number, employee name, employee salary, and so on. Here, some of the attributes may relevant, some of the attributes not relevant here. Here, is it clear or not? The relevant attributes, that means you will take the relevant attributes. You will remove the non-relevant attributes. Not only irrelevant attributes here, you have a redundant attributes also existed in a data here. The main intention here is you have to remove the such kind of attributes here. In the dimensionality reduction, the one of the best approach here is the reducing. That means some of the you have to remove in the irrelevant attributes, and then you have to remove the redundant attributes here. Here this can result in discovered pattern for pure quality, and then reduce data size by removing the irrelevant redundant attributes here. And then the goal here, what is the goal in this case here? Finding the minimum set of features. Here the finding the minimum set of features, and then reducing the number of attributes in a pattern here to make easy to understand. Here you have to reducing the number of attributes. The main intention of attribute subset selection method here is a reducing the number of attributes for the pattern here. And then some of the heuristic methods here. Here some of the heuristic methods for reducing the heuristic are greedy methods due to the number of choices. Here one approach here is a stepwise forward selection. Other one here is a stepwise backward elimination, and then combining forward selection and backward elimination. And then other one is a decision tree. Here the decision tree, already I explained about the decision tree. The decision tree uses a one method here, id3, any algorithm. That means it will uses a id3 algorithm, c4.5 algorithm, or id3 iterative decotomizer. The c4.5 is a advanced version for the id3, and then crt cart. Different, these are all different approaches or different methods for attribute selection. Here the methods here, the stepwise forward selection here. Here how can you performing the stepwise forward selection here? Here in this case here, this procedure starts with the non-empty set of attributes here. Here it starts with the non-empty set of attributes here, and then it will identify the best of the attribute among the different attributes. Here that means it identifies the best of the attributes and added to the reduced state. Here they added to the reduced state, and then at the subsequent iteration step, the best of remaining attributes is added to the set. Here what is the main intention of stepwise forward selection method? Here what is the intention of stepwise forward selection method? Here is a, the first you have to identify the best attribute among the best attribute. That means you should place that attribute in a reduced set, and then that means I can represent that information by using example here. Here this is a forward subset selection. Initially you have a, how many attributes are there? 6 different attributes are there. Initially you have a 6 different attributes are there. The initial reduced set here, that means the initial reduced set always, here, that means the initial set always empty set. Here this is an empty set. Here I am taking the empty set here first, and then among the different set I should identify the best feature set. Here I should identify the best set here. Here what is the best set here? Here among this set here, a1 is a best one here, and then comes to the here a2 is not a best. That means it's performing the, it's a, I think it's maybe a irrelevant set, or it's maybe any redundant set. That's why I eliminated the a2, and then comes to the a3. A3 may be a irrelevant set. That's why I eliminated A3 here, and then comes to the A4 here. A4 perform the best set. That means the A4 required for the perform the data analysis. That's why I included the A4, and then comes to the A5. That means A5 is not a good. That's why I did not include the A1, the A5, and then here comes to the A6. A6 I included A6. In this way, you will identify the reduced representation, the reduced representation of attribute set. Here, this is a way of representing the stepwise forward selection. That's the first important. That means here the reducer. That means you have to identify the best of the attribute, the best of the attribute, and then added that attribute to the reducer set. Here comes to the second one is a stepwise backward elimination method. Here, this method, the procedure starts with the full set of attribute here, and then at each step it removes the worst attribute in the set. Here, worst attribute in the remaining set here. That is a simple. For example, if you take the second one is a backward elimination here. Here, the initial set of attributes here. It starts with the full set of attributes. It starts with the full set of attributes. Here, these are all full set of attributes here, and then here in this case here, A1 is a best one. Here you have to identify the worst attributes here. Here that means in this case here A2 is the worst attribute. Removing the worst attribute from the reduced set. Then here A1, A2, A2 is the worst attribute. That's why I removed this one. Here A3 is a not worst in this set. Then comes to the next point here. The next point here, among this set here, I need to identify the worst attribute. For example, A3 is a worst attribute. Why a worst attribute? It is a irrelevant set, and then this set, this is a irrelevant, and then this set is sometimes it may be a redundant set. It may be a redundant set. That's why I removed A3 here. Comes to the A4 here. A4 is not a worst set. That's why I included A4 here. A5, A6. Here comes to the second one. Here among these set here, already I removed A2, A3, and then A4 included, and then comes to the A5 here. Here if it comes to the A5, here may be a relevant set. That's why I removed the A5. Here the reduced attribute set here is A1, A4, A6. Here in this way you will apply the backward elimination method. The main intention of this method here, you have to identify the reduced representation, the reduced representation of data. That means the contents here, the result, the same result before applying here. If you apply that means the outcome of these six attributes, the six attribute result is same as the outcome of three attribute A1, A4, A6 result. Here the outcome, that is the reduction methodology. And then comes to the third one here is a combination of forward and backward selection. You may sometimes say there is a requirement here. The stepwise forward and stepwise backward elimination methods can be combined, so that at each step the produces selects the best attribute and removes the worst from the among the remaining attribute here. That means sometimes there is a requirement here. You have to apply the both combination and both forward selection and backward elimination. That is one of the important third combination. And then coming to the fourth one here is a decision tree induction method. Here, what is the decision tree induction method here? The decision tree, in the sense, what is the decision tree? Decision tree is a flowchart like a structure. The decision tree is a flowchart like a structure. Here, decision tree consists of internal nodes. Here, what is the internal node here? The internal node indicates the test on a attribute value. Here it indicates a test here, and then you have a branch is there. What is a branch here? The branch indicates that the result of a test here. Here you have a internal nodes are there, different branches are there, and then external node here. Here external node denotes a class prediction. Here always you are writing the external in the external node class labels here. And then comes to the decision tree. For example, the decision tree here. I am taking the same attribute here, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, and then A6 here. Here you have a different attributes are there. Here you have to remove the some of the worst attribute. That is not relevant. That is not relevant, or sometimes it may be a redundant set. How can you remove the here? The first here is the selection A4. I am selecting the A4. Here, how can you select the A4 here? By taking the attribute selection methods are there. Some of the information gain are another important one, Gini index or any kind of attribute selection method. This selection methods here, the attribute selection methods here A4, I am selecting the A4, and then comes to the A3. Here the branch here is a A1. How can you what about the A2 and A3 here? These A2 and A3 are not relevant one. Here that's why I removed the A2 and A3. And then other important one here is I am including the A4. Here I am already including the A4 here, and then comes to the A5. A5 also not relevant here. I am not including here. And then finally you have a result here. The class label class 1, class 2, class 1, class 2. The class 1, class 2 indicates the class label here. In this way you will perform the decision tree. In this way you will perform the attribute subset selection method. Another important one is a wavelet transform. The second dimensionality reduction technique here is a wavelet transform here. Here what is a wavelet transform here? The wavelet eh, the, the wavelet transform is a signal processing. The signal processing approach here. It is a multi resolutional analysis. Here, for example, you have a vector is there. Vector, this is a wavelet coefficient for the length here. Here you will apply the compressed approximation. Here, what about the compressed approximation here? Store a small fraction, the small fraction of strongest of the wavelet coefficient. Here it is a similar to the one of the technique. This technique here is a similar to discrete Fourier transform. Here this discrete Fourier transform uses a sine and cosine here. Here very important thing here is a wavelet transform. Here is a it is a lossy compression. Here the lossy compression here one of the compression technique here. Here it requires less space here compared to the attribute selection methods, and then PCA this required less space. Here it is a lossy compression. That means you may lose the data. Here if you transform the original data into compressed data, at the time of compression it is a lossy. You may lose the some data here. Here the popular wavelet transform include this here 2, and then db6 something here. Here 6 and transform. These are all different transform techniques here. It uses a hierarchical pyramid algorithm here, and then it is a multi-dimensional data. That means always you will apply the this type of technique for the multi-dimensional data. You will apply this type of technique for the data cube, not for the two-dimensional data. And then this is the complexity. That the important thing here is a computational complexity. Involved is a linear with respect to the number of cells in a cube. And then these are all the different example for the wavelet transform. Here too, this is a format here. That means in this wavelet transform method here you may lose the data. Some of the advantages here always gives a good result here on a sparse data or data with the order attribute. And then other advantages here is a lossy compression by the wavelet is a reportedly better than the JPEG compression format. The JPEG compression format application here where you are using the real-time application, where you are using this type of wavelet transform. Here is a fingerprint images, and then computer vision and time series data. The time series data, and then data cleaning. In the data cleaning also you will apply the this wavelet transform. Here another important one here is a in the dimensionality reduction, the principal component analysis. The third important one in the dimensionality reduction, principal component analysis. What is the principal component analysis here? The principal component analysis, that means in the principal component analysis you are taking the data here. That means n vectors here. I am taking the n vector from the n dimensions. The dimension is an entity or perspective. Here n different vector here. I am taking the n different rows maybe. The vector data vector represented as a, in the data set here. I am taking the capital N capital N different vectors, and then from the n dimensions. You are taking the n dimensions here, n perspectives here, and then find in this case here in among those capital N vectors and then n dimension, I have to identify the um, k orthogonal vectors here. Here these orthogonal vectors are called as a principal components. Here these principal component that can be used to represent the data. Here always the data information existed like this. Here I am taking the different vectors. From the different vectors here I am going to identify the orthogonal vectors. Here capital N vectors and then small n dimensions. I need to identify the different orthogonal perpendicular vector, perpendicular dimensional vector. That is a representation here. Here is a representation, and then different steps for the principal component analysis here. First, you have to normalize the input data here. Here they are giving the some data. For example, data, for example, age 24, 34, 54, like that. The age may be 0 to 100. That means you have to converting such kind of data, each data into a particular range. The range may be 0 to 1. The range may be -1 to 1. Here each attributes fall within a some same range. That's maybe 0 to 1. That is a first important. Normalize the input data first, and then the second important point here, compute the orthogonal unit vectors here. Those are called as I already explained that one, principal components here. The second important, compute the k orthogonal units or vectors. And then third important one here is a each input data. That means already input data converted into normalized format here. Is input data is linear combination of k principal component vector. Linear combination of principal component vector here. And then fourth important one here is a the principal component. The principal components in the then orthogonal vector are sorted in order of descending significance of strength. Here you have to sort the information. It may be a ascending order or you may descending order. That means you will sort the this orthogonal vector here in this case. And then fifth important one here is a, since components are sorted here, the the size of the data can be reduced here. Here you will start the reduce. How can you perform the reduction here? By elimination of weak component here. That means you sorted. That means each and every principal components in a sorted order. That's why you have to eliminate the weak component. Here in this way you will perform the reduction operation here. That means how can you those with the low variance. That means any vector have the low variance here. That means any vector have the low variance. That means how to eliminating the such kind of vector here. And then the strongest principal component is possible to reconstruct a good approximation of the original data. In this way you will perform in the, that means in this case here you have to perform in the elimination of weak component. In this way you will reducing the data here. In this case PCA is a computationally inexpensive. It works for the numerical data. Here always PCA, principal component analysis, works for the numerical data used if the number of dimension is very large. Here always the number of dimensions are very large. Different dimensions are there. Here item one dimension. Here time is a one dimension. Location is a one dimension. And this is a perspective. If you have the more number of dimension for the data, you will use a this principal PCA technique. And then the strongest principal components are used to recognize the good approximation of original data here. That means in the original data you included the only strongest principal component, not a, that means you have to eliminate the weakest principal component here. The principal component in this case here diagonal vectors here, weakest principal. That means it will apply to ordered and unordered attributes here. Ordered attributes, unordered attributes. Here that means handle the sparse data, and sparse data number of the values in a matrix are zero. The more number of values in a matrix are zero, are skewed data. Here any kind of data, that means multi-dimensional data of more than 2 dimension can handle by reducing the problem to 2 dimension. This is a simple information about the principal component analysis. Here input to the multiple regression and cluster analysis. Here better handling sparse matrix. Here here in this case here it is used to handling the sparse matrix. This is about the some principal component analysis technique. Yes, the main intention of principal component analysis technique here is a reducing the component, weakest component here, the weakest principal component, that is a diagonal component here. That is a thing, and in this way you will perform in the data compression techniques there. These are all dimensionality reduction method. The first already discussed about the first method. Here is a attribute subset selection method, and then second important one here a wavelet transform, other one is a principal component analysis. These three methods are very important for performing the data compression. Other one here is a numerosity reduction methods. Here what are the numerosity reduction methods here? What is the numerosity reduction? In the dimensionality reduction the attributes. Here numerosity reduction in the sense reduce the volume by selecting the alternative or small form of data representation. Here that is a important term, numerosity reduction, reducing the volume of the data. These are all two methods are there. One is a parametric method, other one is a non-parametric methods. Here comes to the parametric methods. Here in the parametric method, log linear models. Here assume fit some model, estimate the estimate model parameter, store and discard the data. Here one is a very important one. Here is a log linear model. What is a log linear model? Here estimate the discrete multi-dimensional probability distribution. Here what is the thing here? Multi-dimensional probability distribution. That is a advantages of log linear model. Here comes to the linear non-parametric methods. Here non-parametric methods include the histogram, clustering, sampling, and then other one is a cube aggregation, data cube aggregation. Here that is a different methods. Here non-parametric method stores a reduced representation of data. Here one is any method here, numerosity reduction method, any numerosity reduction method used to reducing the reduced representation of data. That is a numerosity reduction. First one here is a log linear model, the regression analysis under log linear model. Here comes to the, it's a divided into linear regression, non-linear, multiple linear regression, and then log linear models. Here regression. Here comes to the linear regression. What is a regression here? What is the meaning of regression? Here regression in the sense fit the line. Here fitting the line by using some functions, any functions. Here comes to the linear regression. Linear regression used to fitting the line y is equal to mx plus c. Here y equal to w into x plus b. Here w and b are the constant. Here the two regression coefficient here, w and b. Here specify the line are used to estimate, that means are to be estimated by using the data at hand. Here this is used to the linear regression used to fitting the line. Already in the unit in the previous class I explained with the help of vector tool also. This is a representation of regression. Here fitting the, here that means this linear regression used to predicting the it is one of the prediction technique. Here for example, here y is a dependent variable, x is a independent variable. Here that means based on the x values we will identify the y value. Here for example, x value, I am taking the x value 1 2 3. Here corresponding, you are taking the w based on a w and parameter information. you will calculate this value here. That is a linear regression, and then multiple linear regression here. Here you are taking the multiple independent attributes here. Here one dependent attribute y, and then you are taking the multiple dependent attribute here, b0, b1, x1, b2, x2. Here this is a multiple regression. Here fitting this is a many non-linear functions can be performed into the go. And then log linear model here. Here what is a log linear model here? Used to estimate the probability of each point in a multi-dimensional space. Here it is used to identify the probability value here. The probability of data Q for set of discretized attribute here based on a smaller set of dimensional combination. That is a linear model. And then regression. Here already explained the regression here. Here the regression can be insensitive when applied to high dimensionality data, whereas log linear models shows a good scalability for up to 10 or so dimensions. The important one here is the second important histograms. Here the histograms are always in the form. That means at the time of in the cricket commentary, cricket score, you are representing in this way. First 5 hours, 5 to 10 hours, 10 to 15 hours. What is the here? I am taking the in this way you are representing the histogram data here. What is an histogram here? Here histogram is a data distribution. That means it is used to distributing the data here. Here it is a popular for the data reduction. The histogram, that means most number of cases, the prediction of time market, that in the prediction of stock market, you are using histograms. Here in the cricket also commentary in the cricket score, counting the cricket score also, you are in the histogram data. And then divide the data into buckets here. Just like a 1 to 10 hours, what is the score? 10 to 15 hours, what is the score? In this way, 1 to 10 is one bucket, 10 to 15 is a one bucket, 15 to 20 is another bucket here. Here, divide the data into buckets and store the average for each bucket. Here, the partitioning rule here. How can you partitioning here? Based on a equal width. Here, width in the sense equal bucket range is uniform. And then based on a frequency also. That means based on a frequency. Here, equal depth here. Here, V optimal is a one of the method for partitioning. That means how can you perform the partitioning? You are taking the partitioning 0 to 10. What is the way for performing the partitioning here? V optimal is with the least histogram variance, with the least histogram variance. That means weighted sum of the original values that each bucket represent. Here in this way, you will performing it is a rule for identification of bucket. These are all, that means you may use equal width. Sometimes you may use equal frequency. Sometimes you may use V optimal method. Here for performing the max difference between each pair of adjacent values here. Here that is a representation of